of the Unity interface. Starting here with the scene window here, this is where you can view all your games. You'll notice here I've started in 3D mode. On top of the scene window here, you can easily change that to from 2D to 3D. So you can see more of a 3D environment feel to it there. I can just toggle back and I can see things more of an XY view. Over in here you got the hierarchy view here where you can select any objects you have. When we open a blank project as I have here, you're defaulted to have a camera set up. When I select the camera there, over on the right hand side of my screen here you have an inspector window and you can see lots of properties there for my camera. For example, the position in which you can type to change the position of the camera. Then when you move your mouse over the X value there, you can click and actually drag that back quite easily here, like so. I can drag it back all the way to 0 or just reset by typing in 0. Then I have a menu bar on the top here, and I'll just show you under game object here. Under create other, you can see lots of different types of objects you can introduce to your game, like particle systems like fire or magic dust or smoke or something like that. You can introduce new cameras, different types of lights, different types of three-dimensional shapes, sprites, so lots of things you can bring into your game. So for example, if I was to introduce a cube there you go, you can see I have a cube available. I'll just go into 3D mode for you to preset. There's my cube. Down on the left hand side here, then in the project tab you can view your folders here, so and you can search for items within your folders. I have an assets folder here, and what I'm going to do is I can look at all the items in that asset folder, so I can just right click and reveal in Finder. There's my assets folder, there's all the other folders in my project. So this container here is the project folder which contains all the files and folders from the project file. So there's just some of the other projects. So inside my asset folder here, I'm just going to set up a new folder. So rather than doing that inside in Finder or Windows Explorer, if you're inside Windows, I'm just going to right click here and create a new folder. And I'm going to put my scene in here. Okay, so I'll double click in there, and now I'm going to set up and save this scene that I have active in the scene window because I haven't saved it yet. So I'll save the scene. I've already saved and set up my project, as you can see here, my new 2D project. So I'll call this my introduction scene, and I'm going to pop that there. In the assets folder, I want that inside the scene folder, so I'll click save. So there you go. So you're in the assets folder, into the scene folder, and there's my scene file now saved and set up, the introduction file. Let's look at the toolbar here with different commands. If I click here, I have a handle which I can use to drag and navigate my way around the scene. Back into 3D mode here, you notice that the scene itself is too large to fit in the view window that I have here. That's so often the case. Your scenes are often hundreds of meters wide, so you may need to drag items in and out of view, or even zoom in and out to view everything. Okay, so there's my cube again, and my camera. I'll just zoom back in on those. Select my camera back in the hierarchy view and double click just so I can center my camera in my view. The next one here then, once I have an item selected, such as my camera, I can highlight it and use it to move up and down. You'll notice as I move the position up and down, the Y value is changing, and of course when I grab the yellow arrow here and drag across and back, the X value will change. Select my cube and do the same thing, drag up and down and change the position. You can also change the rotation on it, so I can rotate my cube here. You can appreciate that better obviously in 3D mode. So there's my cube rotating around. And of course the nice thing about having the figures here is if you set funny values like I have here, you can easily just zero everything back and reset it back to its original position, facing you straight on. Okay, finally I'll just have a look at this play button here. When you press play, you'll notice you hop from the scene window into the game window. Now there's nothing here really in the game. You can see a small bit of the cube. Handy button there. If you want to get a bigger and better appreciation of the game, you can click maximize on play. I'll just hop out there into my scene view where we do our editing and changing of items. And then if you want to preview and test what you've created, press the play button again, and this time it's going to maximize. And you get a bigger view of what's going on. So I'll just uncheck that and hop back in. Okay, so that's just a quick stop tour here of the Unity interface, giving you a quick overview of the hierarchy window where you can select your objects and manipulate them using the toolbar. View properties here over the inspector window once they're highlighted. Then set up files, organize files and folders here down in the project window.